Hello, a very good evening to all of you. Now we are going to start our chapter number 3, and in this chapter we are going to discuss about functions in Python. Till now we have completed our two chapters, chapter number 1 and chapter number 2. Both of these chapters we discussed about some of the concepts that we have discussed in 11th class, and now we are going to start with our new topic, that is about functions. So in this chapter we will discuss about functions in detail, some of the predefined functions in Python, some of the functions that we can define of our own as per our requirement. All these we are going to discuss in this lecture. Here is the list of topics which we are going to discuss in this chapter. Very first we will discuss about introduction to functions in Python, means why we use function and what we mean by function. Then we will discuss how to define a function and how the order of execution takes place when a function is called. Then we will discuss about passing parameters or arguments to the function, returning values from the function, composition and scope of the variables. These all topics we will discuss in this chapter. And in today's lecture we will discuss what we mean by function, why we need a function in our program, how many types of functions are there, and how we can define our own function and invoke that function to perform some task for us. So our first topic is functions in Python, and it is also the name of the chapter. So first thing that come in your mind, that what we mean by function. Function is basically a set of instruction that are used to repeatedly execute in our program. Till now we have made certain programs, and these programs were consist of some lines like 10, 20, 30, 35 lines are there. And what do you think when we are going to implement a software in which the coding will be of lakhs of lines of code? So in that case what we need to divide our large problem or large task into subparts, and all these subparts are known as function. So you can say a function is a self-contained block of statements which performs a specific task whenever it is called. So it is the basic idea of using function, that if you have a large problem, then you can divide the problem into sub problems. If these sub problems can be easily solved, then we can divide or execute them directly, otherwise we can divide them into all or sub parts. Suppose we have a big problem, we divide our problem into two sub problems, and if this sub problem is easily manageable, then fine, and if this problem is not easily manageable, then we can divide that sub problem into its sub parts also. Then what we will do, we will execute these sub parts separately, then we will combine their result, and then we will get the actual result. It is the basic task or need of the function, that functions are used to reduce the complexity of the program, because whenever the size of your program increases, then the complexity also increases. So to reduce the complexity of our program, we need to use the concept of functions in any of the programming language, and similar concept we are using in Python itself. There are some concepts that you must know, that whenever the function will be called, it might or might need multiple inputs. The function can start its working without accepting some explicit inputs by the user or the programmer. It will carry out its task, means it will execute the statements which are written in the function, and a function can or cannot return one or more values. It means there are total three cases: either the function will not return any value, or the function will return a single value, or in Python function can return more than one value. It is the one of the major difference in Python and other programming languages, that like in C and C++, a function can return a single value only, but here in Python a function can return more than one value also. And a function may or may not need some arguments or parameters, or you can say some input when it will be called. It just needs a trigger so that it can initiate its task and execute the statement which are written in the function. So I think the basic concept of using function is clear to you, that we are going to divide a large problem into sub problems so that the sub problem can be easily solved. Then we will combine their result, and then we will get our actual result that we were looking for. Now let us discuss about type of the functions that we can use in a program of Python. There are basically three categories of function that you can use in any of your program. Very first is built-in function. Built-in means the functions which are predefined in the standard library of Python, and you can use all these functions in your program directly whenever you need. Till now you are using various functions like len function, you can use input function, output input function, print function, and thereafter you have used id function, bin, hex. All these functions are predefined in the standard library of Python. It means their definition is already available in the standard library of Python, and you just need to call these functions whenever you need in your program. All these functions are built-in functions, like some examples are given here to you also: help function, main function, print function, len function, input function, print function. All these are example of built-in functions. Next category of the function that we will discuss in detail in this chapter are user defined functions. User defined functions are the functions which are defined by the programmer as per their need. It means if the programmer want to solve some task and there is no predefined function available to do that in your program, and the program is having a large number of lines of code, then what we will do, we will divide our program into subparts, and these subparts are known as functions. We need to define a function and we need to call a function if we are using the concept of user defined function. But for the functions which are predefined in the standard library of the Python, their definition is already available. You just need to invoke or call the function. Invoking or calling the function both means same. Third type of function are anonymous function. These are also known as lambda function, and they have a special purpose in the language, and they cannot be implemented or defined with normal def keyword in Python, because the user defined functions are defined with def keyword. But if you are defining or implementing a lambda function or anonymous function, then there is certain difference. It is not part of our syllabus. In this chapter we will discuss about user defined functions mainly, and some of the functions which are defined in module. When you will read about this concept in book, then what will happen, one category, this category is not available to you, and what they have done, they have written a one more category, that functions defined in module. Okay, modules are also like programs, they are also .py files. You can create your own module, that we will also discuss in later chapter. So what do you mean by module? Module is basically some definition in which the functions are defined and they are also .py files, and you can use all the functions which are defined in them by importing them in your program. Like we have discussed about POW function in Python, that is available in math module. For that we have written the statement import math. Fine. So POW is a function, its definition is available in POW, is available in the math module, and it can be used in your program if you have imported math module in your program. So it is the basic idea of the function, and three type of the functions that we can use in a program of Python. Now we are going to discuss about defining a function in Python. It means we are defining our own function by specifying certain instructions in our program. It is the basic syntax to define a function in Python. that in the very first line we will start with def. Def is a keyword in Python that is used to define a function. Thereafter we have written a name in blue characters or blue color, you can say. It is the name of the function. Every function must have a name and it will be a valid identifier only. Thereafter we will put simple brackets, and in brackets we will write arguments, or you can say parameters. After that we need to put colon sign. It is the function header part. Okay, so header part consists of four things. One is def, start the definition of the function, then name of the function. Third part is arguments. Arguments or parameters are the values which are used when the function is called. A function may or may not contain arguments or parameters. Thereafter we will put colon sign. Thereafter certain doc strings can also be there. Doc strings are basically used for comments. Thereafter you need to write the statements that will execute when the function will be called, and at the end there will be a return statement. If you have used return statement in between, then what will happen? The remaining line of code will not execute. We will discuss about this later on in this chapter. So when the return statement will execute, the execution of the function will complete and the corresponding calling function will resume its task. So I think you have now the idea how to define a function. We will also discuss about that with the help of one example. It is just the syntax to define a function, and now let us understand this concept with help of some example. Now here is a example for you in which we are illustrating the concept of user defined function in Python. These lines are comments. They begins with hash sign. You know that with the help of hash symbol we can create comments in a Python program. There will be no output for the comments that you will use in your program, and they are just used to improve the readability of the program or the code that is written. Thereafter in the fourth line, what you can see, we are using def statement. That I have told you that whenever you need to define a function, then you need to use the keyword def. Thereafter you need to write a valid identifier for naming the object function. So we have given the name of the function is add underscore numbers. In brackets we have passed two arguments x and y. It means whenever this function need to be called, we need to provide two values, and with the help of these two values the function can start executing the statements which are written for that. Thereafter at last we have put colon sign. Colon sign means termination of the header part of the function. In this what we are doing, we have written sum is equal to x plus y. It means sum is a variable which will have the addition of the two values which are passed by the user when the function add underscore number is called, and it will returns this value to the calling function when the task is over. So now let us discuss how the execution of the program will take place. What will happen when the first two lines will be executed? There will be no output as these are commands. In third line nothing is written. Fourth line is a def statement. It means we are defining a function. It means for the very first time it will skip all the instructions, that is instruction number 5, 6, which are the part or body of the function, because these statements will be executed when the function is called or invoked only. These statements cannot be executed directly. The execution of your program will begin from line number 8. Here what we have written statement num is equal to 5 and num2 num1 is equal to 5 and num2 is equal to 6. What will happen when we will write these statements? Num1 is a label that is pointing to a memory location where value 5 is saved. Num2 is a variable or a label which is pointing to a memory location where value 6 is saved. Now we have used, or the statements number 11 will execute now. In 10 number statement we have written nothing, so statement number 11 will now execute. It is a print statement. Print statement, all of you knows, is used to display some contents on the standard output device, that is monitor. And in print statement what we have written in a string, we have written the sum is. So whatever is written by you in the form of string, either in single or double quotes, will represent it in the same way as it is written here in the program. So we will get the result with very first line, the sum is. Thereafter we have put a comma operator here, and from this add underscore numbers, in brackets we have used num1 comma num2. It means it is the calling of the function or invoking of the function. It means we are calling the function add underscore numbers with num1 and num2, as num1 is pointing to the location where value 5 is saved, and num2 is pointing to the memory location where value 6 is saved. When this call statement will execute, the control of execution will go to the definition part of the function. Num1's value will be received by parameter x, and num2 value will be received by variable y. It means x will point to the memory location where value 5 is saved, and y will point to the memory location where value 7 is saved. Thereafter we have written sum is equal to x plus y. Now sum will point to the memory location where sum of these two values is saved. Sum of x plus y is 11. It means s is pointing to that location, and we are returning sum. Sum means the value of the sum is being returned here, and it will print the sum is 11 on the screen when this program will execute. I think you got the concept how a function is called and how a function is defined. Very simple concept was there. Very first two lines are comments. It is the definition of the function. When the definition of the function come in your program, then its body will not execute. It will execute when the function will be called or invoked. Execution of your program will begin from line number 8. Num1 will have value 5. Num2 will point to the memory location where value 6 is saved. Now we are using this print statement. The sum is will be written as it is, and here we are calling our function with two values of num1 and num2. The value of num1 will be received by x, value of num2 will be received by y. Then s is equal to x plus y. S will have the addition of these two, that is 11. It will return the value of sum to the calling function. It is the called function and it is the calling function, because all the execution begins from some place, and it is in the main section of your Python program. It is also known as main segment or main function. You can also say, like in other programming languages, in C and C++, we use the concept of main function. It is the main segment of your program from where the execution is beginning. So now let us see what will be the output of this code, whether it is working properly or not. So yes, we have executed our program and we are getting the result, that is the sum is 11. It means our program is working accurately or efficiently. Now with the help of the code that we discussed, let us understand some of the advantage of using functions in a program. User defined functions are used to decompose a large problem into sub parts, which makes program easy to understand, maintain and debug, because we can reduce the complexity if you are using the concept of functions, we should use proper comments wherever required, so that when someone else will read your program, then he or she will understand clearly why the function is being used in your program. Maintain, it means when there is an error in your program and you have used the concept of functions, then we can easily maintain our program. And one important concept here is debug. So what you mean by debug? Bug means an error or a mistake in a program due to which we are getting wrong result or no result. So debug means identifying and removing the error in our program so that we can get the desired output or desired result. And we can also use inbuilt debugger available in Python also. Next benefit of using function in a program is that if a repeated code occurs in a program, it means if we want to repeat a set of instructions, functions can be used to include those codes and execute when they are calling that function. It means if some instruction need to be executed again and again, then instead of writing them, we can just call the function a finite number of times as per our requirement. So I don't think so you have any doubt now what we mean by function, why we use function, how to define a function, and how to call a function. So in this lecture we have discussed all that. Remaining part we will discuss in our next lecture. Thank you for watching.